I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Evercade Effect. This is Ed, and I'm very excited about this week's video. This is my follow-up video to the Indie Heroes 3 collection, now that I've gotten to spend time with it. So, I'll go ahead and I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll go ahead and put a card up here somewhere. If you haven't watched my video where I do a full dive into all 13 of these games, you know, my first impressions, without even spending any time playing them, without even, reading any manuals or any of that nonsense, just to give you an idea. Then after 2 weeks later, now we're going to go through this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you kind of more an in-depth analysis. This video isn't as much a gameplay video. That's what my previous video is for. We're going to talk about the certain games, why I gravitated towards some games, why maybe I haven't played any other games, and kind of my overall thoughts and opinions. And so if this is a collection you're interested in buying, hopefully this can help you decide if this is the collection for you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Oh, and before we do, at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and give a special message so you can let me know that you've seen the video in its entirety, if you want to. Something kind of fun that I do. Those of you in the past who've stuck with it know what I mean. So let's go ahead and dive into this here. All right. So I've got the VS, and I'm just going to go ahead and go through all these and just kind of give my opinion and whatnot. So let's start with Alien Cat 2 Enhanced Edition. And by the way, I want to say that the biggest difference between this one and the Alien Cat 2 that was on Indie Heroes 1 is that there's 15 extra levels, from what I understand. And I think like better music, enhanced graphics. But I will tell you is on this. Yeah, I played this 7 different times. Look at all the save states that I have, and I played an hour and 46 minutes on this. And kind of where I'm at, I did complete the initial first 30 levels, and I really enjoyed the hell out of this. It was challenging enough, but not super frustrating. I don't know why when I played this game initially in Indie Heroes 1, the timing wasn't right. I don't know what else was going on at the time, but yeah, I really got frustrated with it then, but now I really enjoyed it. This was a blast. The music, everything is addictive to this. What I really like, let me go ahead and jump into it and load one of my save states and more kind of show you what I mean, these little cutscenes. So if we go here, yes, so check this out. You'll see him rebuilding, rebuilding his ship. Like, I love this, right? And when you get to level 30, his ship is like nearly built. And I don't know what's up with that fish in the fishbowl there, and you can see now I'm at a level where I've got 4 of these. So you start off with 1 cat, then gradually you get to 2 cats, then 3, and now 4. And what I love about this game is you really have to pay attention when you move the cats around to where everything else is. You'll step on a spike, you'll step on a bomb, and the later levels there's a little like aliens going back and forth that you have to dodge out of the way. So yes, this game was fantastic. I loved it. This I'm going to go ahead and continue on, but I was distracted by some other games on this cart that I'm going to get to here in a moment. So yeah, this game, very, very good. I love it. I think if I had to give this a letter grade kind of while going through these, I don't really see anything. This is maybe a B, definitely a B, maybe a B plus, maybe an A minus. So really like that game, got sucked into it, want to play it more. And I also want to say too, I almost forgot that a lot of these games I did play live on stream with a lot of you who are watching this, and I'm going to continue to do that, and it was a lot of fun, and I think everybody's had a lot of fun with me doing that. So big to small, 7 minutes. So I'll be honest with you, this, after going through and playing my initial first impressions, I maybe went back and I played through another level, and I'll tell you why I didn't get into this. I played this game a lot. I didn't beat it, but I played it a lot when they had the Indie Game of the Month, and so I think I had kind of forgotten some of the levels, but I was like, you know what, I've already done this. So it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to try to go back to this game, but and that's kind of the downside of the Game of the Month. So for those of you maybe who are new to Evercade and don't know, what Blaze does every year is that they call it Game of the Month, and when there's a new VS and EXP update, now that we have wireless, we get that Game of the Month to play, and we can play it for the whole month, and it's a game off of the next Indie Heroes collection. So now Indie Heroes 4, They're going to start the same thing back up, usually around May, I want to say, probably, and you'll get to play it, and then it'll go away with the next firmware update. Unless if you do an update, but then you're going to miss it on the cool features. So it's kind of a neat thing that you get to experience, but then there's always the kind of downside. If I play this game too much now, I may not go back and play it later, and that's a case with some of these. That was kind of a case here, but I definitely got my use out of the collection and whatnot. Okay, so bone marrow. So this I have to give a disclaimer that if you love this game, I apologize. If you love it, continue to keep playing it. This game is just not for me, and I'm going to tell you why. I think the graphics look great. It's made by PSCD, the same people who do Alien Cat and some other great games. You can see that I've only had 3 minutes here, right? And that's just because, admittedly, I want a puzzle kind of game like this to be more like Tetris. I just couldn't get into it. I know people told me once I've got into it. You can see I've only played it once, right? I didn't like it when this was Game of the Month, and I didn't have the desire to go back to this game after I did my initial impressions. My puzzle games, I like it to be more like a Tetris style, right? When you're involving blocks and things. I couldn't get into this. I love puzzle games. If you love this game, that's great. I think the graphics style and everything, it didn't make sense to me. I really just didn't like it. And so, yeah, I just couldn't force myself to go back and play it. Now, on the other hand, Bubble Seahorse Adventures, this one, kind of like, some of those other weird games, I really did like this. I think this was ported from a mobile game. And yes, the really bad thing is you cannot remap the buttons. So, like, A is to jump and B is to shoot. And I really don't like that. It kind of reminds me when we got arcade games on the Evercade and we couldn't go back and do this. So I only played this twice. Initially, in my initial impressions, and then on a stream, this really captivated me, and I enjoyed it. And what's interesting about it, because it is native, there's no save states. I think I've almost completed this game. Let me go in here. But yeah, when you beat a level, yeah, I've gone up to the jungle level 5, Volcano 2, Volcano 3. I think there's maybe 5, and before that, yeah, Jungle 5, Jungle 4. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, there's no way you can remap any of your buttons, which is kind of BS. And quitting out of the game is kind of weird. So when you're here, you got to hit the menu button. No, you got to hit the menu button again. Now I can go to quit. So this game is fun. Obviously, the other games have kept my interest, but this game is maybe like a C. It's not super great, but it's and that's like for me. If I didn't say, I almost forgot. This game for me, this game is an F or a D. I don't. Again, I apologize. But I'm just being honest here. So yeah, I do plan on going back and playing this game some more, but you just have to balance out, work life, other things, what I want to play when I'm going in and playing this, not many sessions. But there are some other games that drew more attention. And, again, we're getting to that. Choo Choo Mimic. This game, you see, I only have 14 minutes, and I played it 3 times, and that is because the game of the month. I played a lot of this game. God, I got pretty far. I know I played like a couple hours. Really, really got into it. And I went back and I played this a little bit on stream. But again, it kind of suffers the same fate as Big to Small, which is I already played it a lot. I just didn't feel like going back and playing it more. So but it is still, it's a great game, and I do want to go back and complete it. But it's kind of, I would say it's a B. It's about maybe it's equal to Big to Small. I think Alien Cat is the best puzzle game on this cart. But Choo Choo Mimic isn't bad. It's kind of neat in the design, but for a puzzle game, it's just about average. It's not super, or maybe above average. I guess it would be a C, right? But I definitely really, really like that game. Chibi Monster World. So yeah, this game, for me, again, my apologies if you really like this game and all that, but this is just my opinion, and but I would give this game. So like, if you have 4 people to play with, this game maybe could be even an A, or maybe I wouldn't say S tier, maybe a B or A tier, but for me it's more of like a D or an F, because single player this game sucks. It's really not fun. This game is designed to be around 4 players. And playing against the computer and jumping around and hitting it, it was not fun for me at all. So I had no desire to go back and play this game. Because it's one of those games you really need multiplayer. It's missing a lot. All right. So the star of the show, and the best game on this cart, is Donut Dodo. You can see on this cart alone, I've got nearly 5 hours. If you include the game of the month, add another few hours on top of that. I have 8 hours, 8 hours plus alone playing this game on the Steam Deck. When I first got my Steam Deck, this is like one of the first games that I got. I love this game. I played this with you all so much on stream. And just, if you like your Donkey Kongs, if you like your Popeyes and your Burger Times, this is a great tribute to that, but it's its own thing. And I can just continually, after I unlocked speedrun mode, I was trying to get a better personal, do better. Can I get a better personal best? And I was just having a lot of fun with this game because there's so many improvements that you can make. It looks very easy at the surface level, but it's very challenging in the graphics, art style. The only complaint for the two complaints for this game, and I think Blaze is aware, which I'm recording this video. For one, between levels and when you're in the menu, there's a little bit of a pause or a delay. I don't know why that is. It wasn't like this when it was Game of the Month and we were playing it on the VS and the EXP. A few of you have commented on my previous videos. They definitely have noticed a difference. So yeah, once you're in the game, it plays perfectly fine. It's an annoyance, especially when you've got that mojo going and you're kind of running through, the different levels and whatnot, and you don't want anything to slow you down. The second thing is, it needs to work on the Super Pocket because, come on now, that's one of the hot selling points of the Super Pocket, being able to play these native games on such a small device. I still, at the recording of this video, have not been able to test it. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the D-pad on the Super Pocket, I would like to see if this game is still viably playable for me on it. But other than that, this is an S-tier game. I love it. It's what's taken up a lot of my time, going in and playing this. I love it. And that's what's taking a lot of time away from me playing this collection. Due to World Redrawn, yeah, played it 5 different times, but, I used a ton of save states, but I beat it in 26 minutes. Very short game, very, very fun, but very short. Bosses and all that were super, super easy. But yeah, but I guess but I do have a high load count. Yeah, I guess I did lose a lot of save states. It would be more challenging to try to beat this game without save states because sometimes you die because I want to say the hitboxes, like sometimes if you don't jump on the crayons perfectly, you die. Or like you can kind of land next to them, or in some cases, like if you jumping pits, like you can move too fast and slide off. So I think that's what it is. But the bosses are super easy. A lot of fun, but yeah. I just kind of blew through, kind of like with the first Doodle World, kind of blew through the game. I blew through this in a live stream, and I didn't really have much desire to go back. Maybe I'll try on a harder difficulty. Magic Legend Night. So this I did complete through the Game of the Month, and I beat it in about 30 minutes. And it's one of these really weird games that's, how do I say? I don't know if it's done by design that's not programmed well, but hitboxes are weird. Things that take damage are weird. When you get hit and you hit things, you don't have like that kind of force feedback like you do in games, or creatures move back. And one of the two characters you can be are really powerful, where you can throw your weapon. The other one is still fine. It's super easy. Even I think when I played it on the normal difficulty, it was super. It's just like the difference in lives you get, I think, but it's super easy. You got to go through, kill X number of aliens. And yeah, it's one. So this is okay. So with the Indie Heroes collection, I should say that the fact that there's 13 games on this collection make it worth it and make it strong. Some of these games, in my opinion, like a Magic and Legend, Doodle World. We'll get to the Little Tales of Alexandria. There's some of these games, maybe even Big and Small, kind of fits into that, where even if they were like a couple bucks, I wouldn't buy them on their own. They don't interest me. There's so much of that out there. But being the fact that they're part of a collection is what makes it strong. Like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and play it while it's here, kind of the type of thing. Because usually the Indie Heroes have several games on it that are really good, and then some other games that are kind of meh. But that's kind of the whole point. I mean, as a matter of fact, there are quite a few. One could argue a lot of Evercade collections are like that. The more you have, right? Not every game can be a banger. So yeah, I just had no desire to go back to that. Or Body Bender's Tale. I did play this. Actually, the Game of the Month again. I spent a lot more time, but I don't know. I don't even want to say a Mega Man clone. Could be an insult to Mega Man. It's all right. It's weird. It just didn't hold my interest. Like, it was kind of fun. Getting through some bosses, to get to the bosses can be frustrating because you have areas where you have to duck and shoot, and your enemy is like constantly shooting, and you kind of have to slide under the way, and they make it more frustrating to actually like shoot at your enemies versus in like Mega Man, you don't have that trouble. Just the game is inherently hard. So yeah, this one was just all right. quite a lot of save states. Played it a few times, but it really didn't hold my interest to just kind of like, you know, sink into this. Skateboard Cat. So this game was very short, 30 minutes. I played it 4 different times. I beat it on stream. I had to use a buttload of save states because you don't get any continues or anything. And yeah, this game, if you like didn't use save states, would actually be quite difficult. Maybe offer more replay value. I had my fun with it. You know, it's an average game, maybe B, maybe C. You know, C plus. You know, or maybe it's B average. I don't know. Or no, C is average. Sorry. So yeah, just an average, you know, an average game. Not horrible, not super great, but I had a lot of fun. Again, one of those games where I wouldn't just go out and buy it, but because it's here, I'm glad it was, and I enjoyed playing it. Very short game. Little Tales of Alexandria. So this game reminds me a lot of Daedalus on Indie Heroes 1. You can tell by my playtime. I have not gone back to play this. I want to, but just time-wise, it's kind of one of those. So here's one of the things I struggle with, right? Being that I do go through, give my first opinions on games, follow-ups, if you want to call them reviews. I want to give you all feedback and whatnot, but doing and playing games are a lot of fun for me. And if something isn't fun like that, like I can't force myself to do it if I'm not in the mood. That's what she said. No, but seriously though, I can't. So this game, I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm not saying it's super great. It's just there were better games on this cart, like the last game I'm going to talk about, and Donut like that and Donut Dodo, right? That if you kind of look where I've put in time, you know, we have like nearly 2 hours here, and then we have 5 hours. That's like 7, and then if we go to Thunderpaw, yeah. On top of that, add like 10 hours. So kind of like the time that I would take to complete, you know, like a Duke Nukem, I've spent like in all these 3. And then the others are just kind of scattered. So this game is unusual. This game, actually, I completed like the first 3. Actually, I put like an hour or so into this game during Game of the Month, and I enjoyed it so much, I had to stop. Because I knew if I was going to continue to play it and beat it, somewhat like these other games, I wasn't going to go back to it, and I really wanted to save it. I really like this game. What I will say is now that I've completed it on normal, the ending, I mean, I guess spoiler, but it says when you beat it, it says now go ahead and beat it on hard. So I do want to go back and play this game on hard. And again, this was made by PCSD, the same people that went ahead and went ahead and brought to you like Alien Cat 2 and Bone Marrow. So kind of like very different games. With this one, it is a run and gun, but you just can't like jump in and shoot enemies because the weapon you start off with, like when you shoot it, you fly back a little bit, and your weapon is weak, and you have to kill enemies and get diamonds and get your weapon powered up. And you get 3 or 4 weapons throughout the game, and each of them are different. Like one is a ball that kind of bounces, hitting a pattern. One of them is like a grenade, it kind of shoots this ball that explodes, but you can only hurt things when it detonates. And then it's weird because it was like, I think the level 3 boss was like the most hard boss in the game. It was so tough and challenging that you had to memorize the pattern, dodge all the things. It almost made me stop playing the game completely. And then luckily, I want to say it was viewer Jen Joke who said that's the hardest boss in the game. During a live stream. So that motivated me to want to go back and complete it. And this game, you have to explore around. You do have to kill the enemies to open up the gate. You can collect bones for an extra life. You can find these little like ooze containers that'll go ahead and give you extra continues when you get 4 or 5 of them. So yeah, this game was fantastic. It was just like if they did a dual cart. Okay, let me go back here. If they did a dual cart of Thunderpaw, and okay, let me take it back. This game only had Alien Cat 2 Enhanced, Donut Dodo, and Thunderpaw, it would be worth the money. And maybe even if it was a dual card of Thunderpaw and Donut Dodo. The only thing is you can buy Donut Dodo digitally for like $5 or $6, kind of depending on your region. So it doesn't equal up to $20, but this is a physical copy. That's why I say if you get a few games. So those are the main 3 games on here that I just really, really like and really got into. And some of the other games are maybe a little bit filler or not, but at the end of the day, this cart is totally worth it. It may even be worth it alone just to have a physical copy of Donut Dodo. I'm not kidding you. But Thunderpaw and Alien Cat made it really great. Some of those other games, like, and this is why I have this on my second monitor, like Big to Small, I think I'll go back to playing So let's look at the games that I'm going to revisit, so you all can see what I'm talking about. I want to complete the enhanced edition of Alien Cat. Don't forget, we have until like the end of April before we get the other cart. So I can't blow through everything, right? Even though I do have other means to play other games. Big to Small, I think I want to go back to complete. Bubble Seahorse, sure. Choo Choo Mimic, maybe, because I invested a lot of time. War Body, probably not. No desire to play Chibi Monster. Skate Cat, yeah, maybe try to beat it on the harder difficulty that it continues. Little Tales of Alexandria. But Thunderpaw, definitely, I really want to go back and complete that on hard. Definitely, I'm most excited. And of course, Donut Dodo, play that anytime. Go ahead and play that game and just throw that in there. So, like all the other indie heroes, I think it's totally worth picking up and getting it. If there's at least, and I always kind of say this, if on an Evercade cart, if there's one game that you really like, it's worth the $20. At least $20 USD. Mileage may vary depending on your country, if not in the US. But it's always worth it. You get a physical copy, you get the booklet, and you get all those really cool things. And yeah, I'm very, very happy for this collection. We'll see what the other collections do come in store. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for my final thoughts. But if you have made it far in the video, and you want to show me that you completely watched through the video and everything, comment below and put Space Beaver. Put Space Beaver in the video, in your comments below. Let me know that you've watched the whole video. And if you happen to kind of stumble upon this through the YouTubeverse and you do like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Last year in 2023, we just got over 1,000 subs, and the channel has continued to grow since then. So, at some point, my next goal, I want to get to 2,000 subs, spread the word of Evercade. Really kind of what we've done here, just created a safe atmosphere where people can talk gaming and all those awesome retro things. And I do a weekly podcast called Evercast with Pete the Ever Canadian, Crow, and Rich from Bacon Ice Cream Productions. We talk everything Evercade related, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. I've been going live at least once a week, playing various different Evercade games, and it's really great. A lot of you hang out, we have a fun time. We talk not just Evercade, but retro games and everything else, share memories, get to play some games, and have a lot of fun. And a matter of fact, when I go streaming next, I'll be playing a lot of the Commodore 64 Collection 3, as I'm going to be doing a follow-up video for that, like in a week or so. And I also need to catch up and do a follow-up video for Good Boy Galaxy. So, other than that, the only other thing I do need to plug below is that I do have a P.O. box, as a viewer so kind to send me something. I had a lot of fun making a video off of that. However, in order for me to keep the P.O. box, one person at least has to send me one thing. Otherwise, by the end of April, it'll disappear forever, which is fine. But if you want to keep it going and send me something, preferably something like a retro video game related, I can test on the channel, I will go ahead and keep it, and I will keep it for another 3 months. Otherwise, by April 15th, sadly, I'll have to put in the cancellation notice, and it'll go away at the end of the month. But if it does, it's all good. It was a fun experiment to try. Last thing I want to say, if you want a little bit of extra cool things, and you want another way to support the channel, you can become a member and all that. We're growing at the time recording this. I think we're at 11, 13 members strong, which is awesome. And you do get early access to videos when I can, and other member-only videos and other cool things. Matter of fact, next month I'll be sharing off my Game Boy Advance collection and kind of going into detail, talking about what they mean to me and all that. So, I'm going to go ahead and thank all my channel members. I appreciate everyone for everything. Thank you, and bye-bye. Thank you, Crashline, Mr. Shua, and the Immortal Sojourn!